Jump right in. We will go ahead. Webb Simpson, thanks for joining us for a few minutes. The John Deere Classic, you're making your fourth start in the event, first start in quite a while, I think 2010 maybe. Just some thoughts on the decision to come back and how excited you are to be here.
Yeah, this is a very special place for me, although I haven't been back in a while. Claire and I have had many conversations just about how it's tough for me to come here prior to the Open Championship, but he's been incredibly understanding over the years. But the reason it's so special is because my wife and I got engaged here. My wife loves surprises, and she knew the question was coming in the next few months. So I thought, I'm going to get her when she least expect it. She did not think I was going to propose at a golf tournament. Did not do it at the Big Dig out of fear of losing the ring in a tractor. But did it on the river, and so yeah, I called her when I landed, and it feels nice to be back.
That's fantastic. I did not know that. Coming off a top 15 finish last week, just some thoughts on how you're feeling about your game coming into the week.
Yeah, last week was a lot of positives considering my year so far, but also incredibly disappointing on Sunday just to have the start I had 3 over through 5, then bogey 2 of the last 3 holes. I wanted more out of the week, but my ball striking, which has been very inconsistent this year, was super solid last week. So all around, I feel like my game is in the right direction. This is tough. It's 14 years of ups and downs that we all go through, no matter how good you are at the game. And when you feel like you've simplified it and you're on the right track, it makes you eager to play, eager to compete, eager to have another chance on Sunday. So the few times I have played this tournament, I enjoyed the golf course a lot. Some of the best green surfaces we play all year. So I'm very excited about competing and hopefully having a chance on Sunday.
Okay, well, we know you're on borrowed time, so we'll open it up and take a few questions. And we'll start right here in the front.
Can you go a little more detail of your engagement? What year was it? Why did you decide to do it here? Just can you give us a little more details about that?
Yeah, it was 2009, my rookie year. So Claire gave me an exemption in 2008. Came back in 2009, and didn't really know where I was going to do it, but decided, right by the river is a beautiful area. I can take her to dinner. I can surprise her. So my caddy for me off the golf course that night. He had the ring. I told him how much it was to make him nervous so he wouldn't drop it. And it was not a good move, but I did it on a dock. And so I was more nervous about dropping it than her saying yes. I knew she would say yes, or 99% she would say yes. And that year we had a lot of weather, and so Sunday we had to play 36 holes. So we were up late, kind of celebrating, calling people, and then had to wake up about 3:45 in the morning, I think, to play 36 holes. So I was running on a lot of adrenaline that Sunday, and yeah, we got married 6 months later.
So you proposed on that Saturday?
That Saturday night.
Down on the knee and the whole thing?
I did, and some folks on the river who had one too many cocktails almost ruined it because they saw kind of the setup before and knew what was happening. And then as my wife and I were walking out, one of them yelled something like, "Did you say yes?" And thankfully my wife didn't know what they were talking about, but they almost ruined it.
Craig?
What coming back to a golf course you haven't played in a few years? How do you? Does everything look a little more familiar, or does it? There's been a few changes just this year.
Yeah, surprisingly, everything that I remember, it was I just walked the front 9, and a lot of the things I remembered are still part of the strategy we're going to have this week. There's more fairway bunkers now. A couple holes are a little longer, but no surprise, the course is in incredible shape. And every year I watch this golf tournament, and you got to make a lot of birdies, and it certainly seems so this week. The greens here are very familiar to me. I grew up on greens like these, where in the summer they're really good, but they're softer. So it's you don't want to lose bent by cutting them down too short. I think that's why it yields a lot of birdies. But yeah, a lot of familiar looks to it, and I'm playing the back in the Pro-Am that I'm sure we'll see the same on the back.
Does Deere Run have any similarities to places you've had success at, like like Wyndham and courses like that?
Yeah, even like last week, it's not step up on every tee and hit driver as far as you can. There is strategy, there's options, hybrid, 5-wood, 3-wood driver, whatever it might be. And I do like golf courses where you got to get an early start and make birdies from the beginning. So I certainly, imagine with good weather, it'll be another year of 18 to 23 under probably.
So what is it like to be back, a place that holds a lot of emotions for you, where you proposed? You haven't been here in 12 years. What's it like to be back?
It feels great. This is one of the most loyal sponsors to the PGA Tour, I think some 50 years, if I remember correctly. But I remember this area being a great area for golf fans. Such big support for not just the PGA Tour, but Zach Johnson, his foundation, and all that they're doing around here. And so it does feel great to be back. There's tournaments that we go to that have kind of a laid-back atmosphere, and this is one of them where, there's not a lot of stress. Certainly come Thursday, you want to compete, focus, and do as well as you can, but it is fun for, to see all the families out, see all the kids. And just in 9 holes, I saw a ton of kids out there, which, we don't always see that on the PGA Tour.
You come in probably favored too. What's that like coming in, knowing that a lot of people are assuming you're going to have a pretty good week out here?
It's a great feeling. We always take that if that's how people see us. I'm certainly glad I'm playing after last week. As tough as it was to, not top 10 or top 5, there were so many positives, so I was eager to get another start in quickly. So went home for a couple of days, regrouped, and now I'm back. So look forward to it. A lot of good golfers are here, though, so I got a lot of work to do.
I would just, piggyback off of that. You say a lot of good golfers here, a lot of work to do. Do you look at the field and how the field shapes up? I mean, at number, it's 58, you're the highest ranked golfer in this field. Does that change your approach, your mindset for the week, thinking, you might have the target on your back this week?
It really doesn't. It might come as a surprise, but it really doesn't. I mean, I know that I'm guessing the field's 156 players, but, there's the level of competition is so deep now that, 100 guys could win this week. And, just because the field isn't as strong as other weeks, it's still going to take a really low number. So I don't think about it in that way really at all. I really think about it kind of from an individual perspective. How's my game? How did I prepare yesterday at home, today during the Pro-Am? Am I going to be ready? And yeah, it feels nice to be the top-ranked player, but you kind of got to put that to bed and go out and take care of business one day at a time.
You talked about getting that sponsor exemption here early in your career. This tournament has been known to jumpstart some careers with those sponsor exemptions. How key are those, especially for some of the younger guys in the field now trying to make their marks?
They're huge. I remember when Claire invited me to come, I was elated because there's so many uncertainties when you turn pro as a young player. You don't know where you're going to be the next 6 months. You don't know which tour you're going to be playing on, if any tour. So to have a tournament director believe in you, and not only that, but to be able to come out and play against the best players, and maybe you'll surprise yourself and you play better than you thought, and you're closer to that level than you thought, or the other way, you realize how good everybody is, and it really gives you something to go home and work on, and it gives you kind of a measuring bar of, I got to get better, in these areas. So I was grateful for those. I got a couple other ones that summer, but they set me up for a great kind of end of 2008 to get through Q School.
Are there any youngsters out here now that you're kind of taking under your wing?
There's a lot of youngsters who are playing a lot better than me this year. I'm trying to get under their wing a little bit. Scotty Scheffler asked me a couple questions last year, and so that mentor role has reversed. But yeah, it's fun because I still think I'm young, and I'm one of the older guys now on tour, and I'm seeing that a little bit. Guys wanting to know certain things, how I prepare and stuff like that, which is fun. I'd love to help because I was certainly a student of some guys when I turned pro, like Zach, like Davis, like Ben Crane, some of these guys that really helped me.
If I can follow up on that, I mean,
Yeah, finish up with Craig.
10 years ago, we were asking, Zach and Stricker and some of the veteran guys on tour about the young guys like you. But I mean, when a Michael Thorbjornsen comes out and does what he did at Hartford, and obviously we're looking at this just a steady wave of these players that just seem to get better every year coming out of college. Assess, how do you feel to be one of the guys that's getting this question now? How do you assess the young guys and the competition that just keeps coming?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it seems every year they're getting better and they're younger. I mean, I played with him Sunday, and he really played like a 10-year veteran. But we're done being surprised at how good these young guys are. I mean, Colin, Victor, Scotty, Sam Burns, I mean, some of these young guys who act like they're not afraid of any moment. They love the big moments so much. They're, Scheffler's playing in his first Ryder Cup, playing against the number one player in the world and burning the first bunch of holes. So we're kind of done being surprised when a 20-year-old comes in and almost wins a golf tournament. I think the days are done of needing experience to get on tour. Maybe you need experience to win on tour and stay consistently at the top. But in terms of getting on tour, when I came out, it was rare for someone right out of college to get on the PGA Tour. Now it's very commonplace every year. And I think we'll continue to see that. I think there will be a wall hit soon. I mean, I don't think we're going to see any 15, 16-year-olds out here, but certainly, 18 to 20 will be, I think that age group will be plentiful on tour in the next few years.
You're a good man. Thank you, Webb.
Thank you, Dougie.